Live. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. Excited to be with you and excited to bring the news to you because we have another judge in Wisconsin choosing the wrong path. This is wild. Apparently, she couldn't learn the lesson from the first judge, who is now arrested. And I don't know if you guys got to see any of the video, but literally, I mean, they hauled her right out to. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, folks. This is the kind of justice we need. I spoke with my friend. He's a Minneapolis police officer this morning. I said, these are the arrests we're looking for. We don't care about low-level criminals anymore. We want these people, these government gangsters who believe they can tax us into oblivion, take our money, enrich themselves, and house criminal illegal aliens. I mean, what the heck is going on? And judges, good to see some Wisconsin folks on the stream. Please smash that like. Do chat in with where you're from to help get this stream going. Get that chat rate up. You guys are awesome. While you're doing that and other people are joining, let me mention really quickly my sponsor, My Pillow. You guys know, but still has some of the percale bed sheets left. Not all colors, all sizes are left, but still $25. Folks, these are phenomenal sheets. $25, any color, any size, split kings, it doesn't matter. The Rev 7 energy drinks, change your life. Mental focus, more energy, all of it. Save up to 30% with the subscription and get a free 3-pack, all at mypillow.com/lumberjack. Or my favorite way to order, folks, will always be the 800 number. I like talking to people, so call 1-800-568-2865, 1-800-568-2865. It's why I use the checkout line at the grocery store instead of the self-checkout. I want those people to have jobs. I don't like where society's going. Maybe you guys, where are you guys at on that? I mean, we've got important news to cover, but where are you guys at on that? I mean, what do you think about where society's going, where you bag your own groceries, check yourself out, all of that kind of stuff? I mean, I'm just not down with that. I use it sometimes because the lines are too long. They're kind of forcing you into it. But man, I want to go support these people and they have jobs. I want American workers to have American jobs. Where are you guys at on that? Yes or no? I mean, you want to just comment self-checkout or assisted checkout, normal checkout, whatever you want to call it. But anyways, and they got the My Towels over there too. Best towels you'll ever use. Okay, so let's get on to the news here, folks. This is exciting news to me, okay? So there is and I want to make a point. In fact, I'm just going to hold my computer up. This is a headline from ABC News. I'm working off my phone here, so forgive me, but this is ABC News in April 25th of 2019. For those, on the left, look. Can you read that? Oh, some people like the self-checkout. That's interesting. All right. Judge indicted in Massachusetts for refusing to allow undocumented immigrant to be detained. This isn't new. This isn't new stuff. Okay. I'm just, if a judge is going to break the law, folks, the details of this case, okay, there's another judge in Wisconsin, but I got to take you back to the details of this case. And what's actually going on in Wisconsin. Right now, let me just get to the new news, okay? Wisconsin Judge Monica Isham is threatening to refuse to hold court hearings. This is just today. Monica Isham is threatening to refuse to hold court hearings because the Trump administration arrested Milwaukee Judge Hannah Dugan. I have no intention of allowing anyone to be taken out of my courtroom by ICE to a concentration camp, she said. People, have you read the stories on actual concentration camps? This is the most ridiculous, loony statement ever. And here's the deal. She can do that. But folks, what happens to any of you out there in normal person world? Okay, tell me, what happens to you if you don't do your job? If you say, I'm not taking any more hearings on these when there's somebody who's an illegal alien involved, I won't do it. This is what they are. They're like 2-year-olds. What happens to you if you do that at your job? Yeah, lose it, folks. You get to lose your job. You don't have a job anymore. So I want to read about that, but I really want to get into this other thing on the judge the other day. So you guys remember the judge that got arrested? Okay. Well, that the details of this are even worse. They're even worse than you could think. Okay. So criminal complaint has been unsealed in the case of the Wisconsin judge helping the illegal. And folks, this is when I get into this, just please make sure you smash that like. I want this to get out. This is so wild to me. The people that the left is choosing to rally behind. Okay, whether it's Abrego Garcia, the wife beating, human trafficking, guy, or this. This is gonna. It's absolutely just appalling, shocking, jaw dropping. Any word you want to use that a judge would do this to help someone like this. It's wild. Okay. I'm aware of a review of public records that on March 18th, 2025, Eduardo Flores Ruiz, born in 1994, was charged in Milwaukee County Circuit Court case number 2025 CM 000814 with 3 counts of domestic battery, abuse, infliction of physical pain or injury. This is who she was hiding from the ICE agents. Okay, do you guys, let me just say that again. 3 counts of battery, domestic abuse, infliction of physical pain or injury. Okay, that's who this guy is. And they're hiding him out. They don't want him deported. Why wouldn't you want this guy deported? He's not an American citizen. What is wrong? And how can they stop Trump from doing these things? Common sense things. It just blows my mind. All right. Not merely, folks, 3 counts of domestic battery with physical pain or injury, but he had already been deported once and illegally returned. Are you guys catching this? So he's committed these heinous crimes, but not only that, we'd already gotten him the heck out of country and he's illegally brought back in. And we can't get rid of him? That's what these judges think? I mean, my gosh. So ICE goes to arrest him, okay? This is where it gets wild. I mean, this is what we saw. This is why she got arrested, okay? Oh, and by the way, folks, I have to read you something before I go on to this. Tammy Baldwin, the senator out of the state of Wisconsin, made a statement, and I've got to read this to you because it is an absolute, how many of you have heard me refer to Democrats the way my friend George refers to them as projectocrats? Have y'all heard that? Yes or no in the chat? Just curious. But projectocrats, because they project onto you what they are. Listen to this. And it's all Democrats do this, okay? So it says, in the United States, this is a statement from Tammy Baldwin, the United States senator out of the state of Wisconsin. And she says, in the United States, we have a system of checks and balances and separations of power for damn good reasons. She gets a little feisty there. Okay, the president's administration arresting a sitting judge is a gravely, the president's administration arresting a sitting judge is a gravely serious and drastic move, and it threatens to breach those very separations of powers. Folks, help me out here. Do you think it is more of a bridge too far to arrest a judge who would not wanted to send ICE agents on a wild goose chase and hide an illegal alien, or arrest the leading contender for president of the United States and a former president? Which one's worse, folks? I mean, arresting the president or arresting the judge? Perp walking the president or perp walking the judge, okay? This is wild. This is the road they go down. And this is a dangerous separation of power. No kidding. Okay, make no mistake. We do not have kings in this country, and we are a democracy. We're not. We're a constitutional democracy or constitutional republic. You can, but it is a constitutional republic. That's what this really is. Governed by laws that everyone must abide by. Governed by laws that everyone must abide by. So wait. So, but the judge, this is the bridge too far, when the judge doesn't abide by the laws. Are you kidding me? So the judge doesn't have to abide by the law. The very person who's tasked with enforcing the law, who holds court in a courtroom in this country, apparently doesn't have to obey the law because they can help an illegal alien escape out the back door. AC Cruz, good to see you on. Please smash that like, folks. Keep chatting. Let's get this out to more people. By relentlessly attacking the judicial system. Do you get, by relentless, this is Tammy Baldwin. We're back to Tammy Baldwin's statements. By relentlessly attacking the judicial system. Folks, they were talking about packing the Supreme Court. Do you remember this? They were talking about adding Puerto Rico and Guam and other states so they could get more senators because they couldn't deal with an actual meritocracy. Okay, and they say, by relentlessly attacking the judicial system, what happened during Biden's reign? Did you remember how relentlessly the Supreme Court was attacked? Okay, flouting court orders. Student loan forgiveness, anyone? I mean, this is wild to read. And arresting a sitting judge. Arresting the president. This president is putting those basic democratic values that Wisconsinites hold dear on the line. While details of the exact case remain minimal, this action fits into the deeply concerning pattern of this president's lawless behavior and undermining courts and Congress's check on his power. That was from a sitting U.S. Senator, Tammy Baldwin. Most unaware idiot known to man. Okay, all right. Now I'm back. Okay. So ICE goes to arrest him. I am aware that law enforcement routinely executes warrants and makes arrests in the public areas of buildings such as the Milwaukee County Courthouse. The reasons for this include not only the fact that law enforcement knows the location of which the wanted individual should be located, but also the fact that the wanted individual would have entered through a security checkpoint and thus be unarmed. That minimizes the risk of injury to law enforcement, the public, and the wanted individual. As such, members of the Milwaukee ICE ERO task force developed a plan to arrest Flores Ruiz in a public area outside of courtroom 615 of his scheduled criminal court appearance before Judge Dugan. Okay, now, just so you know, I am reading, this is from the documents detailing with her arrest and the case against her, okay? Wait, and I'm going to, I gotta switch screens here now. Hold on a sec. Okay, I got that one. Okay, now we're back onto this one. So some agents notified security and explained the arrest would be, they would be in the public area outside of the court proceedings. Others went to court and notified the court security agent, okay? So the other members of the arrest team were already present in the 6th floor public hallway when the deportation officer and CBP officer arrived. Before deportation officer A and CBP officer A arrived outside courtroom 615, FBI agents A and B had advised the courtroom deputy for courtroom 615 that law enforcement was there to arrest Flores Ruiz. FBI agent A displayed his credentials to the courtroom deputy and informed him that they were to assist ICE in arresting Flores Ruiz. They agreed that the arrest would take place after the court appearance. The agents then left the courtroom and took positions at different locations in the public hallway. But the public defender, again, he's represented by a public defender. An illegal alien is being represented by your tax dollars, you folks in Wisconsin, by a public defender. But this isn't just in Wisconsin. This is happening everywhere, right, folks? How many of you feel good about a public defender being assigned to an illegal alien? Your tax dollars being used to fund the defense of an illegal alien. We're supposed to treat them like they're U.S. citizens now? They're supposed to get all the due process rights, all the everything of U.S. citizens? Insanity. Insanity. How many of you feel good about that? Yes or no? I mean, good night. A public defender, so the lawyer, took pictures of the agents and then went and told the judge's clerk, who told the judge. So then the judge tells the agents they need to leave the courthouse. So they've got a warrant. They've explained, they've worked with the people at the court. They're going to make this arrest, okay, for obvious reasons. And then the judge tells them they have to leave the courthouse. Who the hell does this judge think she is? This is wild stuff. The judge entered through the side door while another agent, who wasn't spotted by the judge and her team, continued to watch. Meanwhile, other agents speak with Chief Judge and confirm that the arrest in the public area was okay. So the judge told them they needed to get out. They have to go speak to the chief judge. Chief judge says, oh yeah, well, that's normal stuff, okay? You guys following everything on this story so far? This is crazy. Courtroom deputy, okay? He's a good guy. The judge tries to rush the domestic abuser through the process while everyone is supposedly tied up talking to the chief judge. So while the deportation officer is dealing with this other stuff, right? She tries to rush him through the whole court proceedings. Again, let me remind you, I got to go back to point one. We are dealing with a guy, this Ruiz guy, Flores Ruiz, 3 counts of battery, domestic abuse, infliction of physical pain or injury, and he was deported once already and illegally returned. This is who she's defending. I mean, did you guys all get the lunacy of this? This is the most insane thing. She is a judge. A judge. God help us all. If the judiciary is wrecked in this country, we really have problems. And it's looking pretty wrecked right now. Okay? Judge Dugan then escorts Flores Ruiz through a jury door to avoid his arrest. Multiple witnesses have described their observations after Judge Dugan returned to her courtroom after directing members of the arrest team to the chief judge's office. For example, the courtroom deputy recalled that upon the courtroom deputy's return to the courtroom, defense counsel for Flores Ruiz was talking to the clerk, and Flores Ruiz was seated in the jury box rather than in the gallery. The courtroom deputy believed that the counsel and the clerk were having an off-the-record conversation to pick the next court date. Sounds like ex parte communications. Defense counsel and Flores Ruiz then walked toward each other and toward the public courtroom exit. The courtroom deputy then saw Judge Dugan get up and heard Judge Dugan say something like, "Wait, come with me. I'll lead you to the promised land, you illegal, abusing, harming dude. I'll lead you." Gosh, God. I do not know what to do but laugh at this crap because it is so freaking nuts. This is unreal. And she thinks she's got a leg to stand on. And the left is defending this. You guys need this information. And I just so you know, I reposted this. This is a whole thread on the charging documents by Margot Cleveland. Okay, I've reposted it on my X account. So follow me over there at Neil E. Johnson. Okay, Neile Johnson. My mods can post that in the chat for you. And if you want to get the actual charging documents and read through this whole thing, but you have got to share this information. The left is acting like this guy is a saint again, just like the other guy we had to deport down to El Salvador. This is the stupidest stuff I've ever heard of in my life. Good night. So she takes them out through the jury door. Despite having been advised of the warrant for the arrest of Flores Ruiz, Judge Dugan then escorted Flores Ruiz and his counsel out the courtroom through the jury door, which leads to a non-public area of the courthouse. These events were also unusual for 2 reasons. First, the courtroom deputy had previously heard Dugan direct people not to sit in the jury box because it was exclusively for the jury's use. Second, according to the courtroom deputy, only deputies, juries, and court staff and in-custody defendants being escorted by deputies use the back jury door. Defense attorneys and defendants who are not in custody never use the jury door. But it's worse than that, folks. It gets even worse. God help us all. Oh my gosh, folks, I'm feeling good today. I ran a 5K with my kids. It was a blast. It was so much fun. And I wasn't able to train because I had my knee was acting up because I had my leg in a boot. So my ankle and knee were acting up on me when I tried to run before the race, a month before the race. So I had to just do knee strengthening exercises. I picked up and I was just hoping to complete it in under 30 minutes. And I did it in 26 minutes and 40 seconds. So you can give me a hand clap in the chat for that. Smash the like button for me for it. I don't know. I'm just trying to get this stream out. So the judge adjourned the criminal case against the illegal, who is charged again with 3 counts of domestic abuse, and where the victims were present in court for the hearing. The state's attorney only discovered later when the case was not called. So the judge literally said, you know what? We're not even going to just rush this case. We're just going to adjourn it. You're out of here. No charges for you, Flores Ruiz. You're the best kind of domestic battery illegal alien we could ever find. You lovely guy. This is just unreal. Agents then observed the illegal and his attorney trying to leave the courthouse back way, and it took some 22 minutes for them to catch him following a foot chase. So they're arresting him so that he can't be in a foot chase. They're arresting him there because he has no access to the weapons. It's safer for everybody, and instead they have to go on a 22-minute foot chase. So the judge has been charged with 2 different crimes. That is obstructing or impeding a proceeding of a department and concealing an individual to prevent discovery and arrest. Now, so she concealed the individual to prevent discovery and arrest. That's charge. And then the other charge is obstructing or impeding a proceeding of a department. Okay. That's funny because do you know what? That really is very similar to what were the J6ers charged with? That was it called 1512C3, I think it was called. You guys probably have the number on that. Or was it? Yeah, I think it's 1512C3. Anyways, but that was obstruction of an official proceeding. God has a sense of humor, folks. He has a sense of humor. Okay. So, I mean, this is the most ridiculous case. Well, so now you have to understand that this new judge that we have, also a Wisconsin judge, her name Monica Isham, she's not going to hold court and even raise bail on defendants because of the arrest of Hannah Dugan. So she's going to circle the wagons around Dugan because she's worried about illegal aliens being deported. Guidance requested, or I refuse to hold court, an email she sent after Dugan's arrest to all Wisconsin state judges says. WRN exclusively obtained the email from a recipient on April 26th. That's Wisconsin Right Now. That's who wrote this piece. Okay, I have no intention of allowing anyone to be taken out of my courtroom by ICE and sent to a concentration camp, especially without due process. They're illegal freaking aliens, okay? As both of the constitutions we swore to support requires. No, both of the constitutions you swore to support do not require that. They actually require that you give the president the power on deporting people. That's what it is. Should I start raising bail money? Isham wrote. Yes, you should, Isham. You should start raising bail money. You should also not have a job. You need to be canned, okay? So that's what's going on in Wisconsin. And, we're at a weird point in our country, folks. Just let me take a minute here. I want you to think about where we're at, where judges who are the very people who are supposed to try people, convict people, are breaking the law so egregiously. How can they have the ability to convict people? They have to be held to a higher standard of law. That's why I say, and I'm curious for you folks, I'm not so interested in the arrests of low-level criminals right now. Yes, I understand, if somebody goes and steals something, they need to be arrested, okay? But I'm not celebrating those. What I'm celebrating is a judge getting arrested in Wisconsin, another one in New Mexico for flagrantly breaking the law. I want the actual government gangsters arrested. Where are you guys at on this? Government gangsters or regular criminals? I mean, I want all of them take an oath, Buck. They all take an oath. All these officers of the law, all these congressmen, senators, the judges, they all take an oath to uphold and defend the Constitution of the United States of America. Okay, and that's the law of the land. That's the supreme law. It is not It is not the judge is not the law. The Constitution is the law, and anything they do that's repugnant to the Constitution is null and void. Any law that Congress makes that's repugnant to the Constitution, null and void. Okay, I just can't with these people. But anyways, I think we're starting to see some movement. Again, I know a lot of people have been very, very upset with Cash Patel. He hasn't arrested enough people, but they did arrest this one because this case they had to lock cinch. They're gathering information for the other cases, folks. I believe Cash Patel, Dan Bongino, they're gonna do the hard work. Okay, so thank you for that comment. I hope I am on fire, but I'm fired up. And you know what else? You guys want to get fired up? Go get yourself some Rev 7 over at mypillow.com. Folks, this stuff, okay, the next generation of energy drinks, Rev 7. Okay, go to mypillow.com/lumberjack or call the 800 number. The comment's pinned at the top, but it's 800-568-2865. Again, that's 1-800-568-2865. You will love these, man. I tell you, I took those things and I've been working out with those. They've been a great pre-workout drink, but a lot of people like them because it provides them better mental focus and clarity. Okay, it has no sugar, no caffeine. There's no stimulants. It has these ketones that your body produces when you go into ketosis. Okay, and that's what it's relying on. So go get yourself some. We'll see you on the next episode. I love y'all. Remember, if you're new, subscribe. We have a great time over here. All right.